Paddington is an extremely mischievous bear. He also has an uncle and aunt are living with me. They are a cheerful and happy family. Their whole family cherished a dream of going to London. When their family was preparing to fall asleep, there was a strong earthquake where we lived. The whole bear family quickly moved out of the house. There were only Paddington and his aunt in the tree. Promptly ran to the shelter, and the uncle is still standing outside. Miss my beloved home. Until the earthquake passes, they still haven't seen anyone staying inside. Lush green forest. The day has now turned into a pile of rubble. Even the old trees could not cope. Earthquake. Last night, the two went everywhere to find their beloved uncle. But maybe he disappeared forever and never returned to them again. He was hit by the giant tree, crushed to death right next to his house. The forest is no longer an ideal place to live. The two children have packed their bags. Leave my beloved forest. The two of them rowed the boat together to a nearby port. Sneak aboard a lifeboat on one. Cargo ship seems to come here. The aunt decided not to go to London anymore. I will stay at the nursing home to live the rest of his life in his hometown. So Paddington Bear will have to go to London alone. It was time for the ship to depart, and the aunt also had to leave. Paddington then began his journey to London. Even though he was lonely, Paddington couldn't stop eating. Inside the suitcase was filled with jars of aunt's honey. Prepared. Without hesitation, Paddington sipped those jars of honey. I have courage, but I can't stand being hungry. Soon, Paddington had eaten all his food reserves. I think Ray will have to work as a face to make a living from now on. After 2 days of traveling, the ship also arrived at the port of London. The bear groped his way into Gaya's house to find someone to adopt him. A stream of people hurriedly passed by, and no one noticed him. Paddington sat alone in the middle of a large Gia house. Wait a while for the next train to arrive. A family of 4 passed by, and they avoided Paddington. By the time he felt 7 hopes, their family had returned. The woman saw how pitiful he was, so she agreed to help. It seems Mary's husband doesn't like Paddington very much, but he did not dare to argue with the Hadong lion, so he was reluctant. According to her, they will adopt Paddington until he found another family. Paddington then went home with Mary's family. He was extremely excited about this new place. Paddington also practices personal hygiene like the people here. Just after going to the bathroom, he ruined everything. Even the toilet in someone's house. Paddington also makes Paddington wash basins. Make toilet water flow freely onto the floor. The faucet also refused to stay still, but turned to challenge him. Henry felt something was wrong. He immediately ran up to take a look. Open the door to see the scene before your eyes. It makes him mad when they see it. A huge pile of water flows out and swept the bear and the bathtub down. Everyone downstairs could only gasp when they saw this scene. They banned the Paddington Palace from hanging up, let him sleep alone there. After a long day, Paddington wrote a few more lines in the diary. For when you return, I have something to tell you about everything in London. After a long night, Paddington woke up and prepared for a new day. I thought helping people was simple, but the things Paddington touches becomes destructive. After breakfast, he and Mary's family went out. Today, she will take Paddington to find a new home. But when I arrived at Gia's house, their family lost track of Paddington and Little Bear, currently still struggling with the escalator. After a while of searching, then their family also found Paddington. Mary took Paddington out for coffee with her. At this time, a thief came in and stole his wallet. One person there. When Paddington discovered Ra, he threw away his wallet and ran away. Innocent bear. I thought he dropped his wallet, so he picked it up and chased Theo to return it to the thief. He did not dare to accept the bear's kindness and ran away. Paddington feels confused, but still chased Theo to return it. He didn't know where he found the policeman's hat. make the thief even more scared and run away faster. After a long chase, Paddington also caught him. The bear fell down when the wallets in his body also fell out. Right time, there were two policemen waiting to take him away. Paddington returns to the cafe, in everyone's acclaim, because he just caught a notorious thief of this neighborhood. The next day, the newspapers also reported on Paddington. The bear and the children in Mary's house also become closer. They happily play with each other, like family members. They also bought Paddington a warm coat. And slowly watch. Paddington is like a member of the family. But their house is too small, not suitable for you to live in. So, they continued to lead him to find a new home, but still can't find a suitable person. At night, their whole family gathers together to watch movies. Surprisingly, it was showing Paddington's house. Then he gradually remembered the story not long ago. 6 years ago, an expedition has come to your forest. An explorer discovered the family of Paddington. So Paddington's uncle invited that man to his home. After a few days living together with the bear family, then it was time for him to return. Say, whenever these bears come to London, I will warmly welcome you. He didn't forget to leave his hat behind. Let the bears keep it. As a souvenir, there's also the hat Paddington is wearing. Surely they now know where you can raise this bear. After the key theft, there was a woman who noticed Paddington. Her name is Minnieson, is the director of the Natural History Museum, have a hobby of catching, kill and confine animals. She then broke into the security room of the gay house, shot and anesthetized the two guards there to watch the camera to find the whereabouts of that bear. Minnieson discovered Ray. Paddington got in the car with Mary's family. After a while of searching, she also found their house. Just in time today, Brown's family all have things to do and go out, and they left Paddington home alone. He pulled out the book to read, to search for information about the Kia Explorer. Unfortunately, Paddington tore a corner of the book. I was going to use tape to stick the book together, but it stuck all over Paddington's body. The more I remove it, the more it sticks. At this moment, the blonde woman also came to kidnap him. She broke the glass and commanded me to take me down. Then there was a phone call, so Paddington went out to answer it. The mini center above is waiting for the opportunity to shoot the anesthetic. The moment she shot, then the tape ran out and pulled the bear back. Paddington was lucky to escape its arrow. Right after that, she threw down a smoke bomb. Paddington felt bad and ran away. Millicent started searching and searched all over the house. She wasn't paying attention and opened the burning oven. Thanks to that blessing, it spreads to surrounding objects. Seeing that the situation was not good, Minnie said it took a long time for Paddington to dare to crawl out of Raz's refrigerator. The fire department also arrived to put out the fire in Brown's house. They thought it was because he played with toys too much that he was hallucinating. No AI in the family believed Paddington's explanation. He wanted to continue arguing about the matter at court, but only Mary trusts Paddington. And Henry always wants to kick you out. They don't that. The little bear heard the story through the vent. Paddington is extremely sad with what he just said. He also realized all the trouble he caused them. Paddington decided to pack up and leave. It was pouring rain outside, and there was not a single place to shelter from the rain. The songs on the roadside made him even more nervous. Paddington's heart is tired, and he decided to lie down on the chair to take a nap. For a while. The next morning, Mary's family also discovered them. The bear left home. They were left by Paddington's letter. Those are the words, "Sorry for the trouble you caused Rhea. The most sincere thanks are indispensable." After hearing that, I also turned angry at Henry. Because of you, Paddington left this house. Paddington over here is going everywhere to find adventurers. He went door to door with a man named Craig to find him. Mary went to the police station to report, but you haven't provided enough information. They couldn't find it. Henry also found himself at fault in this matter. Paddington is still diligently searching for the explorer. Lucky slide, because you finally found his house. Sadly, the slide disappeared a few years ago. The person who welcomed you was just his daughter. Scary thing, Craig's daughter was the one who entered Mary's house to catch Paddington. That's it. He didn't know because she was wearing a mask at the time. The Minison then lures Paddington into a vehicle. This scene was seen by Henry's neighbors. He questioned, but she just answered, "Let it go." Furthermore, he even pretended to be a dog barking to scare people, making him run away. Afterwards, the neighbor called Henry. Noticed a family. They know who kidnapped Paddington. Right away, their family got into the car together to go to the rescue. Paddington Bear was taken to the museum. This place is full of animals, stuffed and put on display. Millicent doesn't beat around the bush. Let me see her idea. Now Paddington also knows her true face. Paddington trying to run so I wouldn't be taken away. Stuffed. Before he could run far, he was shot with anesthetic by her. Henry's family also came and saw everything. They found a way and crawled along the sewer pipe to get inside. Then the entire museum's electrical circuit broke. Minison was preparing to practice when the power went out. She shined a light and walked around checking. The four of them were now down below, waiting for the opportunity. As soon as she came down, everyone quickly ran inside. Unfortunately, the door was locked. Henry bravely climbed outside the building, then followed the brick edge to the window, seeing the bear as if there was no way to get in. After a while of calling, Paddington woke up. At this time, she went down to the basement and turned on the electricity. Discovered the footprints of Henry's family. She immediately closed all the doors. Paddington quickly crawled out of the room. Suddenly, he was discovered by her Ra. He quickly ran away to avoid that anesthetic arrow. After a while of running away, Paddington also went to Henry's place. Unfortunately, she also chased everyone away. At this moment, Henry's mother opened the door and went up to them. She made Malene slip and fall down. Luckily, she's still alive or she would have been sentenced. Then the whole family came down to hug Paddington. The five of them returned to their beloved home. From now on, Paddington is officially a member of Mary's family. He also sent stories back home from London, so that aunts can feel secure. From the day Henry's family agreed, Cho stayed in the house. Paddington was familiar with the people in the neighborhood. Everyone loves Paddington, because you are a kind bear. Wherever Paddington goes, he has friends. Just a few months away, it will be my aunt's birthday in the countryside. So today I went shopping for a gift for my aunt. After searching for a while, he found a book. Inside, it's a beautiful view of the city of London. This will certainly be a very meaningful gift, because Aunt Lucy always wished to go to London to see everything. How come Paddington doesn't have enough money to buy the book? So I can only go to work to make money and then come back to buy later. He went to work part-time at a barber shop, but just in time the boss was away. Then someone came here to get a haircut. He had no doubts. Immediately asked the bear to cut his hair. See, customers trust you. He also agreed and then ruined the customer's hair. So Paddington was fired from the first day of work. I see you sad all day because of the 7 karmas. So Henry's family took him out. Gives a good mood. They went to the fair together to see the performance. Thanks to its special appearance, it easily attracts children. The host invited Paddington on stage. Tells stories. Paddington talks about his kind aunt. And story, I will buy a special book here to give to my aunt. That made the host curious about the book. After the performance ended, he asked more about it. Paddington also didn't hide it. Say go to the store that sells that book. The next morning, Paddington started a new job. He started his career as a window cleaner. As soon as the washing water was brought to cow, suddenly it fell straight on Paddington's head. That made him disoriented. rushed straight into the house next door. Parkington quickly used his feathers to clean the glasses, let the homeowner investigate. The results obtained made the homeowner extremely satisfied since then, but his job of cleaning glasses was more convenient. Everyone was satisfied with the shine he brought. That's why Paddington made a lot of money. Today after work, he went over to look at the book he wanted to buy. How can you detect a thief breaking in? Inside the store, he stole the book that Paddington was about to buy. I saw that my favorite item had fallen into the hands of thieves. Parkington calls his dog friend. Take me to chase that sex thief. Until you can chase it. Then he turned into a magician. Then disappeared immediately, after which the police arrived. Just found myself here in Parkington. So the police suspected him of being a thief. So the police immediately arrested Parkington. The neighbors saw this and were extremely disappointed. Only the Henry family still believe that Parkington is not a thief. The thief is really happy because he has someone to take his place. Unexpectedly, he was the person Paddington said, book location, and also Paddington's neighbor. The reason he stole that book was because of what was inside. Contains clues leading to the treasure. The next morning, Paddington was brought to trial. As a result, it is difficult for Paddington to escape guilt. The judge is the person whose hair you ruined. Simultaneously, NO1 has evidence to prove that Parkington is innocent, so he could only receive a sentence of 15 years in prison. After Paddington was captured, Henry's family replaced him to find the real thief. They redraw the criminal's face, according to Paddington's description, then print out many copies and paste them everywhere. Inside the prison, Paddington was assigned to do the laundry. He accidentally mixed the pink hat in, washed together with clothes, put all the prisoners' clothes here. All turned pink. Everyone gave him loving eyes. Paddington could only quietly walk back to his eating position. The food here is no different from pig bran. The prisoners here have to eat it 3 times a day. Transparent 15. There was also one person who dared to complain about this dish, because the person who cooked this dish was the chief guard of the prison. Parkington decided to teach that big guy a lesson in prison guards. Seeing this scene, I could only call for an ambulance. And Paddington even recklessly smashed bread on his head. I almost got a fever all over the head officer. Some prisoners saw this scene. I just know how to hide under the table. At this point, the boss couldn't stand it anymore. Now he's going to force Parkington to make red bear porridge. Hearing that, he was extremely frightened, accidentally stuffed a piece of marmalade cake into his mouth. After tasting the cake, his attitude immediately changed. Also announced to other prisoners, from now on this bear will be 2 siazes, protected by him, and no one dared to touch it. Compensate. Every day you will have to make marmalade sandwiches for him. Early morning the next day, 2 people started making cakes. They worked enthusiastically together, like professional chefs. The cruel chef has now also become gentle towards Paddington. It's time. Let the prisoners enjoy the achievements of the 2 people. This is also the first time the prisoners here are given food in return. Everyone was satisfied with this marmalade cake. They didn't forget to give the 2 of them a round of applause. For the first time, Chris was praised by everyone. Look, following the mirror is Paddington. Prisoners know how to cook. Also volunteered to go to the kitchen. That makes the kitchen more diverse and fun. Gradually from a gloomy restaurant, turned into a restaurant-like place. 5 stars since Paddington. Everything here has become colorful. The prisoners also became harmonious and loved each other. Then today, Henry's family visits Paddington and pointed out the suspect, but he is a master of disguise. Each action takes on a different identity, so it's impossible to know who he is. The next day, Mary printed out many copies of the photos, then distributed to people in the neighborhood. See if anyone receives it, until a parrot suggests the killer is behind. Mary also had some doubts, immediately went into that neighbor's house to investigate. Indeed, his eyes were extremely similar to the thief Kia. That's it now. Henry's family turned to investigate him. The couple borrowed their name to visit. to get into the house. While he was preparing his clothes to prepare to go out, two people walked around checking. After searching for a while, they discovered a passage in the attic. Family, they were right to suspect the neighbor was the culprit. Moving suits are similar to what Paddington sketched. They immediately went to report to the police. But they couldn't prove it, that the book is in his hands. They were also late for this month's Paddington visit. He was still waiting for their family to visit, but it's been a whole day and I still haven't seen it. Paddington, given that Henry's family didn't need me anymore, he began to dream about happy days with her. I'm sure what he wants most now is to have freedom. At this moment, the chef invited him to escape from prison with them. Paddington also wanted to go out, so he agreed. Wait until the prison turns off the power. They put Tay into action. First they jumped into the sewer below. Then we went to the laundry room together, gather large pieces of cloth and a giant jar of GA. Then climb up to Cal and combine those pieces of fabric into balloons. The bridge burned the GA tank and they successfully flew up. At this time, the four of them also took off their prison clothes, landed safely in an abandoned building. That was also the time when the little bear said goodbye to the remaining three people. Paddington walked alone on the cold street. He only had one coin on him. He finally used that coin to call Henry's family. At this time, they also told him the real thief. Exactly, old man. The neighbor is working as a host for the fair. The whole group arranged to go to the fair to expose him. Suddenly, their car couldn't start. Seeing this, the neighbors helped them push the explosion. They also want to save Paddington for this neighborhood. But now, Paddington saw that thief on a ship. Paddington didn't think much. Immediately jumped on that ship, but Henry's family arrived late, so Theo couldn't. They risked their lives to steal another ship to chase after Theo. The prisoners and Paddington also heard the news. They decided to go back to help the cub vindicate. Then the place where the treasure is hidden is on this ship. Enter the password to unlock the treasure. But now, Paddington has also determined his location. He used sticky candy to sneak up from the top of the deck, successfully retrieved the book before climbing up. Buchanan also discovered and immediately chased Theo. It was not difficult for him to get the book back from hands of a tiny bear. Buchanan locked him in the last carriage and unlatched Ra. At this time, Henry's family drove a ship to chase him. They jumped over there to help Paddington. Found Buchanan. Henry threw the ball, causing him to faint. But no prescription. Paddington's train went off the rails. Then, the entire train carriage along with Paddington plunged into the lake. Mary quickly told her son to stop the train. Let her jump into the lake to save Paddington. The most urgent situation is to discover that the door
she can't
has a
open
chain. Just when two people were about to give up, then Paddington's fellow prisoners returned. Thanks to their help, Paddington was saved. On the shore of Buchanan was also arrested by the police. There are only a few days left until Aunt Lucy's birthday, but now he didn't have enough time to send gifts to my aunt. Today the whole neighborhood came here to welcome you back. What surprised Paddington was, they gave a gift to Aunt Lucy on his behalf. They brought her here to see the city of London with your own eyes. The two aunts and grandchildren were reunited after 15 years of separation. Today's movie is here. Hello, and see you again in the next movies.